Have you ever felt trapped in cycles you generally want to escape? The same habits, the same emotional reactions, the same frustrations, the same unhealthy relationships, the same self-sabotage, the same setbacks repeating over and over again. And no matter how many times you promise yourself, I'm going to change, somehow the cycle returns. The truth is, most people are not simply struggling with bad moments, they are struggling with repeated patterns. And if those patterns remain unconscious, they quietly continue shaping your life. In this video, we're going to talk about why negative patterns form, why they keep repeating, and how to intentionally break them for real. Welcome to Metanoia Life. This channel is about structured transformation, helping people move from reactive living to intentional wholeness. On the channel, we talk about self-awareness, emotional intelligence, destructive cycles, discipline, alignment, spiritual growth, and sustainable transformation. So if you are serious about intentional growth, not temporary motivation, subscribe and join the journey. Let's get into this. Section 1. What is a negative pattern? A negative pattern is a repeated behavior, reaction, mindset, or emotional cycle that continuously produces unhealthy outcomes in your life. Let me repeat that again. A negative pattern is a repeated behavior, reaction, mindset, or emotional cycle that continuously produces unhealthy outcomes in your life. You react without thinking, avoid without understanding, or repeat behaviors without fully recognizing why. Let me give you some examples. Negative patterns may include procrastination, emotional shutdown, self-sabotage, people-pleasing, overthinking, toxic relationships, inconsistency, anger reactions, avoidance, or destructive habits. The longer a pattern repeats, the more normal it begins to feel. Think about it. I'm going to repeat that again. The longer a pattern repeats, the more normal it begins to feel. What repeats long enough eventually becomes part of your daily reality. That I'm also going to repeat again because I need somebody to hear this. What repeats long enough eventually becomes part of your daily reality. Section 2. Why negative patterns keep repeating. Many people think they repeat negative patterns because they lack discipline. No, sometimes the issue runs much deeper. And let me get into this. Many negative patterns are connected to emotional conditioning, fear, survival responses, unresolved pain, limiting beliefs, or familiar coping mechanisms. For example, someone who constantly avoids confrontation may fear rejection or conflict. Someone who procrastinates constantly may fear failure or imperfection. Someone who self-sabotages may struggle with feelings of unworthiness. Many patterns originally developed as a protection. Can I say that again? Many patterns in your life originally developed as a protection. But what once protected you can eventually begin limiting you. Unexamined survival patterns eventually become destructive cycles. Can I repeat that again? Unexamined survival patterns eventually become destructive cycles. Section 3, Step 1, Develop self-awareness. The first step to breaking negative patterns is awareness. Now you're going to keep hearing awareness keep coming up in all my teachings because awareness is fundamental. Awareness is first. Awareness must happen. So the first step to breaking negative patterns in your life is awareness. Ask yourself some questions and ask yourself honestly, what keeps repeating in my life? What emotional reactions feel automatic? What behaviors keep producing unhealthy outcomes? What situations trigger me consistently? Most people stay trapped because they never slow down long enough to observe their own patterns honestly. You cannot change what you refuse to confront clearly. Let me say that again. You cannot change what you refuse to confront clearly. Section 4, Step 2, Identify the root. Every repeated pattern usually has a deeper root underneath it. Can I say that again? Every repeated pattern usually has a deeper root underneath it. Behind the behavior may be fear, shame, insecurity, emotional wounds, limiting beliefs, or unresolved experiences. For example, someone who constantly seeks validation may fear rejection internally. Someone who shuts down emotionally may fear vulnerability. If you only fight the symptom, the pattern often returns. I'm going to repeat that. If you only fight the symptom, the pattern often returns. Sustainable transformation happens when the root is confronted, not just the behavior. Let me say this again. Sustainable transformation happens when the root is confronted, not just the behavior. Section 5, Step 3, Interrupt the pattern intentionally. Once awareness increases, you must begin interrupting the cycle intentionally. Interruption means choosing differently, responding differently, and behaving intentionally even when it feels uncomfortable. For example, pausing before reacting, setting boundaries, changing routines, replacing unhealthy habits, seeking help, journaling, building discipline, or removing toxic influences. Transformation often feels uncomfortable because it interrupts what your system has normalized. That I'm going to say again. I need you to hear this. Transformation often feels uncomfortable. Why? Because it interrupts what your system, your own system, has normalized. Every intentional interruption weakens the control of the old pattern. That I want to repeat. Every intentional interruption weakens the control of the old pattern in your life. Section 6, Step 4, Build reinforcement. Breaking a negative pattern once is not enough. It must be replaced and reinforced consistently. This is where structure becomes important. For example, reinforcement may include routines, accountability, therapy, coaching, reflection, prayer, habit systems, intentional environments, and a consistent self-awareness. Most people rely only on motivation, but motivation fades. Structure sustains transformation. What you reinforce consistently eventually becomes your new normal. I'm going to say that again. What you reinforce consistently eventually becomes your new normal. If you've been trapped in negative patterns, understand this clearly. You are not powerless, but transformation requires awareness, honesty, intentional action, and consistency. Your life changes when unconscious cycles stop controlling your decisions. And healing begins when intentional living becomes stronger than automatic behavior. If this video helped you, subscribe to Metanoia Life and join the journey toward intentional wholeness. Share this video with someone who might be struggling with repeated negative cycles. And remember, stay with the process. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. I will see you in the next one.